Carrie Cassidy, Project Camelot, Whistleblower Radio. We have a very sort of developing story at the moment with regard to David Wilcock, who has received death threats for an article that he wrote on divinecosmos.com. And I urge everyone to go to that website. We are in the process. My webmaster, Tommy Hansen, is in Norway, and it's the middle of the night there, but he has come online, and he is working on trying to get a PDF so that this is downloadable. We have gotten word from our listeners that they want to be able to download the article and distribute it around the net and possibly other places. So we are working on that now.
Yeah, I mean, this eclipse that we had over the weekend was so intense for me for personal reasons that are unrelated to writing this article. I guess mildly related, but I have been through so much emotional cleansing, and I had that the night of the eclipse, I was up all night in bed. I was cold. I was so cold I was like shivering in bed just because of the emotional intensity of the stuff that I've been moving through. And so to hear all this and be threatened in the midst of what actually has been very powerful and positive healing effects for me, it was kind of, it caught me off guard. I think I'm pretty brave to be doing what I'm doing, and I don't want to be intimidated, but I just lost it on your show. Part 2, what's going to be released tonight, which I've already had the guys reviewing the document and making sure that they have no objections. They actually wrote me. I mean, I have an email here, and I'm going to read it. Let's see if I can find it. He said, "Dear David, my only suggestions are to remove the names of blank, blank, and remove the part where you mention names of people who have been talking to blank. These people have to live." Yes, this is what he's saying. He says, These people have to live with the very people who are the ones we are fighting, and I think it is a breach of confidence to leak their names. More than that, a number which now includes name, name, and name are now feeding us information from directly inside the highest levels of the cabal. We should not expose them, as it would negate their usefulness to us. Like us, they want change, but they have to work with those whom we are fighting. I already have given instructions to all Wilcock file holders, including the fact that you will be getting an update very shortly with new information. Do not release the information unless you are authorized to, which will be the code phrases that I gave you that will appear in my article. Let's just say that the scope of change, I did deliberately put myself at the tip of the spear. What's going to be happening as a result of this lawsuit getting public, and why it's so important that people spread the word, is that there are some people who have been doing a great deal of harm. There's a lot more people of whom Anonymous represents that group, in which, although he's talking in a way that probably is scaring the living crap out of most of the listeners, there's a greater number of people who do not wish to do harm and who are very pissed off about the fact that this very small number of people is making everybody in government, everybody who works for the military, everybody in a corporation, everybody who's in a finance company, making them look terrible. There's a small number of people who are causing the trouble. This lawsuit is intended to stop them from being able to do what they're doing. That's why I was willing to put my ass on the line by getting it out there, because what happens after we get rid of these folks, and I'm not saying kill them, I'm just saying give them a fair trial, and I don't even think they should receive the death penalty, and some of them who are key involved people can plead for amnesty. But that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at a geopolitical change of massive proportions which will unleash an incredible wave of prosperity for the planet. When this economic system is changed, the average person's prosperity will dramatically increase, and this is what we need to do. We need to do this in order to get disclosure. We need to do this in order to reconnect with our galactic family, and we need to do this to inherit the golden age that has been promised to us in so many different ancient prophecies.
David, can we go back a few steps here, if you don't mind,
Sure.
and describe the situation again for the people that are tuning in?
with regard to Benjamin Fulford and how you feel that the arrest, I assume it was an arrest or the CIA occupation, takeover of his house or whatever, house arrest they're calling it, how that basically seemed to interweave with what's going on with you.
Well, the title of my article that caused all this mess is "The $1 Trillion Lawsuit That Could End Financial Tyranny." I'm only reporting on something that other people are doing. The information that I reported is already public domain. The information I reported on is a lawsuit that is for $1 trillion. It is being filed on behalf of a secretive Asian group called the Dragon Family, who are the holders of vast sums of gold. I guess Anonymous would say nowhere near as vast as the gold that's actually there, but in conventional terms, we're looking at much more gold than is officially documented in the treasuries of the world or in any public forum. The Dragon Family basically owns the historical rights to this gold. It was confiscated in the 20s and 30s as part of the foundation of the current financial system under Bretton Woods in 1944. The confiscation of that gold it is all documented. It's all part of the system. It's part of a secret financial system that underwrites the currencies of the world so that most people think that they're printing bubble money, but they're actually not. It does have collateral. It's just that these Asians now want to regain that collateral because they don't like the way it's being used. And that's the actual situation that this lawsuit is trying to do. It's basically trying to change the geopolitical order, change the financial system, change the way it's run, so that there will be much more prosperity freed up for the average person, because there's a small group of people who have access to the printing press. They're printing money out of control. They have driven the whole world into a global financial meltdown. None of this needs to happen. It's all phony. It's all based on numbers and computers that have no real value. And what's trying to be done now is to reboot the global financial system, and in the aftermath of this reboot, we're going to discover that these vast national deficits were all illusions. It's all illegally gotten, and it doesn't even exist. So it's kind of like the Orwellian idea, war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. When the media is telling you it's global economic collapse, it's actually the best thing that's ever happened to us. This lawsuit is the tip of the spear that's doing this, and that's why apparently some people who will be affected by this, because they're going to lose their printing press, they're very upset. They issued threats to me, and now what's happening is that people who we know and trust are actually stepping out of anonymity. They're on the air, and they're saying that if these people try to harm me, that they will be harmed, and it's going to cause a lot of trouble. So I don't want to see anybody get harmed. I was actually going to be getting in my car and fleeing my house after I finished writing this article, but now I'm going to hold true. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to hold the fort. And I do not believe I will be harmed, but I have to take these threats very seriously. And that's why I'm out there making this radio show, alerting people to what's going on for my own protection and for the good of humanity.
Absolutely, and for the safety of the people around you as well.
Yes.
So, David, do you want to give a sort of a summation of what has come down, what has gone down here, and maybe if there's anything that you need to tell people about what you're going to write in part 2 that needs to be reiterated here, please do so at this time.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for caring about me enough to send in all these letters that I've received, and I didn't know if this would ever happen. I think maybe I've lived my life with so much trust in the safety that I have. I never expected I would actually get a death threat like this. Look, I know that there's people who probably are going to think this whole thing is some elaborate game that we're playing or that it's fake. I don't know what to say. I'm not comfortable posting any comments on my website of people being sarcastic or acting like this is a joke or that I made it up. I only heard about this, I don't know, like barely an hour before this radio show started, so I haven't even really had time to think about all this. I just, in the unlikely event that something does happen to me, I just want to tell you listening that I love you, and I have always done my best to try to bring you information that will help you to be a more loving person. And I love this planet, and I love the people, and I want to see the world improve. I really feel that we have all suffered, and there's been a lot of fear, and I have worked very hard to create hope and to create faith and to help us all create the future that we deserve to have. And I didn't expect I'd be interfered with like this. I don't believe in fear, and I've always said that I would rather die once at the hands of an assassin than die every day in fear of assassination. I will do my best to pull myself together.
In terms of data, is there anything that you need to say right here and right now that people should know about?
Yes. Many of these underground bases were completely wiped out. It began on the day my book came out with one in Virginia and one in Colorado. There have been many more that have happened since then. A lot of it happened at the end of the month of September. The 2 drones that were taken over, one in Iran and now another one yesterday in the Seychelles, that is an ongoing part of this extraterrestrial initiative. The extraterrestrials apparently took over this drone. That drone was never supposed to be found. The Iranians now have it intact. That was given to them by extraterrestrials. The implications of that are very vast, and this is another article I needed to write, and so I will say it right now. That drone has the most advanced guidance systems of any reverse engineered technology on Earth. It was completely hacked and overtaken by extraterrestrials. The people on the inside know this. They've been having meetings about this at the highest levels. What it means is they have no defense, so they need to stand down. There is nothing you can use to attack the people. You cannot fake an alien invasion. You cannot do anything. You're completely exposed. And by coming after me, you're getting yourselves in even more hot water. You've heard this on the show. So I do not wish to be harmed. Let me do what I'm going to do. I will not out anyone's name. I will not do anything that will hurt any one person. All I'm trying to do is talk about this story. But the drone downing is a very significant element of this story. The people who are doing this are not trying to invade the planet. They're not trying to destroy the planet. They did this because they don't want you bombing Iran. They don't want you creating World War III in the Middle East. They do not want you to create an international incident. You will need to accept this change. You will need to accept stepping down from power. You will need to accept the change of the economic system. You have hated the public. You have not wanted people to have the money that they need to live a happy life. You have to change. It is being forced upon you from all sides. I know it's scary. I know that you want to attack me and threaten my life because you are scared. And this is something that everybody gets to win. So we will give you amnesty, but you have to cooperate.